today the education industry is ready to take off. People are very wary of calling it an industry, but the fact is that it is. It is not so much as a public service as the government makes it out to be, especially when it operates in the private space. It is more like a service where you pay for the quality that you receive. And I think government should be now bold enough to accept that education can be market driven, wherein the parent decides as to where the child goes, depending on the quality of education being provided by the particular school, by the quality of infrastructure, by the quality of results, and the quality of overall ambience that the school provides, and the opportunity that school provides to the young children. So that should be the sole criteria, and there will have to be different price points. Now, if I were to be the policy maker, it wouldn't matter to me as to how much money anyone is making. What would matter to me is whether there is a value creation commensurate with the money or not. Now, that's the ultimate thing that we need to look at. So, value creation is the most important thing. Now, no education is expensive as long as it is an enabler. But even if you have very cheap quality education at very low cost where nothing gets transacted, then it's very expensive education, because we have only one life. We shall pass this path only once. So therefore there is no rewind, there is no reset. Now therefore why should I take a chance with low quality education? See, in DPS we have a lot of very bright students who are not able to afford the price point of the tuition fee that we charge. We therefore have a system of scholarships. It's called the merit cum means scholarship, and in that these children who are not otherwise able to pay but otherwise are good students get a scholarship. On an average we spend about 6.5 to 7 crores on providing scholarships to such students. In all schools put together, which are 5 day schools and 1 boarding school, we have a total population of about 8,500 so. 8,500 students.
And you have been associated with education industry for the last 34 years. So what kind of transformation this industry has witnessed over the years?
See, in the last 35 years, the industry is becoming more global. In the sense, there are international influences that are now being exerted on the Indian education. The reason being, post 1991, in fact I would say even post 1984, when the country began to open up and the television came in and the communications opened up, you know, the artificial barriers that the governments had created began to crumble. Now you find lately travel has become a lot more easier than it used to be. So therefore today we are already sitting in a global kind of an arena where anybody can come in from outside and bid for a job in India, or anybody passing out of the Indian schools and Indian colleges can bid for a job anywhere in the world. So it's almost becoming like a global village. So therefore, it is very important that Indian schools are able to impart education, the quality thereof, which is comparable with the very best worldwide. So to that extent, Indian education is also evolving every day. They are trying to get better. They could have done better. They could have, grown faster than what they have. But nonetheless, they are moving forward. I see technology has a phenomenal role to play in terms of aiding and assisting learning. A lot of people seem to think that technology will replace the teacher. I don't think that's ever going to happen, not in the very foreseeable future, not the next 10 years or so. But technology as an aid to learning is a phenomenal tool. If deployed right, in a correct balance between the face-to-face and the online learning, technology can be a great enabler, can be a great reinforcer. See, there seems to be a lurking notion that education and skills are two separate phenomena or two separate segments, but the fact is they are not. Education and skills move in tandem. Skills can be best learned or taught if you have the basic educational contours in the right place. If you don't have that, no skills can be built, or if at all, very low level skills can be built. So therefore what happens is that education doesn't happen really without the skill building. They go hand in hand. We need to be acutely conscious of the fact that education and skills are coterminous and they move forward together. And the entire curriculum has got to be so made that the skills are not looked upon as a separate add-on, but it is a necessary adjunct of the educational process. See, international tie-ups will largely come about in the higher education. Now, the National Commission for Higher Education, which has been in the works for almost 7-8 years, hasn't yet seen the light of the day. We do not know what the view of the new government will be. But the fact is that India will have to open its doors to high quality institutes across the world. Now, when and how will that happen, what the format shall be, what kind of investments will come in, what kind of teachers will come in, what kind of curriculums will be introduced, what kind of a industry connect will be provided, is something we are yet to see. As of now, the higher education international tie-ups are happening in a very informal way and not in a structured manner, because the government has not yet announced a policy on that. But let's wait for what the policy is, and the policy will then define as to what kind of collaborations and what kind of exchange of resources would be permitted under the policy.